Mona, it's so good to have you on the Jewelry Business Academy podcast today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Robin.
Yeah, I'm really excited for our conversation, and this is extra special because, you're building your jewelry business, MX Knots, but you're also a member of the Jewelry Business Academy, and you're a new member of the Jewelry Business Academy. You've only been in the program for a couple of weeks now. And so I'm really excited for you just to share like where you're at the moment in your business, some of the lessons that you've learned. And also just like get a feel for where you are in your business now, and then we can bring you back on in a couple of months and just see that growth and see that transformation. But before we dive in, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners and just share a little bit of your background and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, so hi, my name is Muna. I do micro macrame gemstones jewelry and macrame accessories, coasters, wristlets, earrings, bracelets. I think that's it. So so my story began when my mother bought me a friendship bracelet wheel when I was in middle school. So it was just a little tool to make friendship bracelets with, and I really fell in love with the crafts. And so
Mm.
then I bought more tools, learned more patterns for YouTube. People around me really liked the bracelets that I made, and they were asking me to do more for them. I didn't sell at that time, but people persuaded me to do so, and so I started selling them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to college. More hobbies occupied my time. I got really busy with everything, and so I just left that behind. But I knew that like my fingers were always aching to get back to doing the crafts. And
Mm.
so during the pandemic, I was actually chatting with one of my friends. She has sent me some like resin arts stuff that she made, and they were all beautifully packaged. And I was telling her like, why don't you sell them? And she didn't want to, but then we talked about it, and I was like, you know what, I actually had this business idea in my mind from a very long time, but I haven't really gone around doing it. So
Mm.
why don't we both start doing our businesses and start together? And so she was like, yeah, okay. And we started working on our businesses, she on hers, me on mine, and we launched them on her birthday. It was like
Oh,
18th
I
of
love that.
August. Yeah.
18th of
So this is
August. Was
yeah.
that 2021?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, amazing. I love that. That's such a special story, Mona. And do you want to share like a little bit more about MX Knots before we dive in?
Well, I do
Like
like
what is the style? How do you sell? You're doing a lot of events at the moment. You've just started online as well.
yeah, I started doing events last year in November, and like I've
Hmm.
got a few of them planned still.
Hmm.
I started selling on my websites. Actually, the products that I'm doing right now, all of them I learned after I decided to launch the business. So just like 2 months before then, I planned everything and I learned everything that I wanted to do. So like
Mm.
I've never like worked with gemstones before, never done any necklace, no nothing. So all of them were new projects.
Oh,
So
I love that.
yeah,
I love that
and
so much.
thank you. Most of them are nature inspired because I really love nature. So
Amazing. And we'll be linking your websites so everyone can take a look at your pieces because they are really, really beautiful. And for anyone who's listening, can you just share, is this your
right now,
full-time job?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for
So
now, yeah.
for now, I love that. So, you have been in the Jewelry Business Academy since January. You joined in January, right at the beginning of the year, which is a really great time to, get that support and get that structure in your business. And we're only just getting started really with you and your business in the program.
Yeah.
But I'd love it if you could share how you were feeling before we started working together. What sort of challenges were you facing in your business when you decided to join?
Yeah, so I actually felt like I've been working a lot, but not really sure what I was doing.
Mm.
Um, I started to listen to a lot of info online, but a lot of them were controversial. Some people would tell you like follow this strategy, and others would say like no, don't do that. And so I was a bit stuck, and I was in a lot of trial and error, and I felt that it wasn't really moving. So like the biggest challenge for me was making sales. Like I
Mm,
remember getting my first sale probably 2 to 3 months after launching the business. And then from then on, I started to get one sale each month, and then there were two, but they were really apart. So it was really, really slow progress. And I was like, this is not it,
mm,
I gotta do something about it. So that's
yeah.
when I started to join.
Okay, yeah, it's really challenging and it's so normal for business owners, new business owners to have months with no sales, especially because there's just so many roles in business, It's not just designing and making the pieces, it's knowing how to sell and how to market and there's a lot that goes on behind like just selling your pieces and marketing them. It's not just snapping photos, putting them online and thinking that's enough to make people buy. So thank you for sharing that because I think a lot of newbie business owners listening to this will maybe feel a little bit less alone in their journey and be like, oh, okay, I can't be expected to know how to do everything when you're starting a business. You just can't expect yourself to know how to do it all before you've actually done it all. So I'm really glad to have you in the program, of course. And I'd love to know what your experience of being in the Jewelry Business Academy has been so far, and like what parts of it are you enjoying the most?
Well, there are many things I'm really enjoying about this. For example, well, first of all, it's really having a very nice effect on my mental health.
Mm,
The clarity, getting clear on my whys, on my goals, and has been really helping me. There is this sense of peace in my mind right now and relief because, when you're doing it on your own, it's just too much. It's just you have to go through
mm,
a lot, and it seemed like a very lonely journey, but it doesn't really have to be this way. Um,
mm,
so that and I really love the community. It's really like we are all in it together. We're all thriving to do more or less the same thing. And so like whenever you're stuck, you can just reach out anytime. And so this has been really helpful.
I love hearing that so much, Mona. And, I can really resonate with that because I have obviously done entrepreneurship now for many, many years. And I've started businesses with no help and no support. And I thought I was fine. But this time around with, building the coaching business, building the Jewelry Business Academy, I have a huge support system in place. I have coaches, I have that support. And when I look back and see the difference in just my mental health, building a business without support versus having support, having guidance. It's really it's quite something to look at. And I have so much, empathy for my younger self that thought that I needed to do it all alone and was so
Yeah.
determined to do it all alone. And I can just see how that really took a huge strain on my mental health. And so I love that, it's having that support has had such a positive impact on you, on your mental health, giving you that peace of mind so that you can actually enjoy your business building journey. Because business itself comes with its own set of challenges and having that peace of mind and actually being able to enjoy the challenges
Yeah.
as they come up and work through them and move through them and see growth in your business. It's just such a different experience when you're not also having those challenges of our mind and all of that. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm also so glad that you're loving the community and, as you said, like being a part of a group of people all doing the same thing as you, all taking those scary steps, taking messy action together, embracing putting themselves out there. I'm really glad to hear that you're enjoying the community so much as well. And I'd love to know, like, what is one of the biggest lessons that you've learned since joining the Jewelry Business Academy?
Biggest lessons. Um, I think it's like the being really firm when setting boundaries.
Mm,
And it's all also connected to confidence. So just you just have to do it. You just have to like train yourself to do things, and not letting people cross these boundaries.
Yeah, that's a massive one. So I'm so glad that you've shared that because I think we've chatted about this before on the calls as well, but boundaries is one of the hardest things for business owners to implement. It's like I can give you an Instagram strategy, I can give you an email strategy, and business owners will go out and do it. But when it comes to boundaries, like they are one of the hardest things to implement, but they're one of the most important to implement to protect yourself, your energy, your time, your headspace. So I'm
Yeah,
really glad that, you know, that you shared that with our listeners because I know everybody, almost everyone listening, probably has to like either implement some more boundaries in their business or like look at the ones they have in place and maybe make some changes so that it can better support them. And I'd love to know what are some of the wins that you've had, big or small, since joining the Jewelry Business Academy, even though it's been such a short time.
yeah, yeah. So one of the wins, like I don't really have like all my goals set up still, but like I'm working through them, and I've already, with clarity again comes peace of mind. So
Mm,
it's been really great, and I'm doing this not only for my business but also for my personal life as well. So like you know the business and like the personal growth that comes with the journey as well has been really great. Um, and
mm,
the number of sales as well. So, like I've implemented so far just a few number of strategies, but I've seen results in them. For example, the emails at events. I haven't done that before in my events,
mm.
but I started doing them and I've been seeing some really nice results.
Incredible.
Yeah, there are many repeated customers from past events more than ever. And yeah,
Amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. And that's such a simple strategy that we implement. And I'm so glad that it's getting you results really quickly, and that
yeah,
you're already seeing that impact. And then again, just having that peace of mind and clarity and focus when you're building your business is such a big win. So I really, really love that. And I'd love to know, what part of building your business were you not expecting? Like, what is like something that if you could go back to yourself back in 2001 when you launched your business and just give yourself one piece of advice, what would that one piece of advice be that you wish you'd been given back then?
hmm, that's a really nice question. I can't think of any right now. Let's see.
That's okay.
But it's like the entire all the ways that all the just calm down and like it's all gonna be okay
Mm,
kind of thing. But like I wouldn't like even if you told me that before then, like without having really like a clear way to how to like achieve that, I wouldn't really know how to do it. I mean, you hear about this all the time, but there's it's different when you actually see the plan right there in front of you, and like that it's going to be okay because there is like a plan, there's a structure, there's something to work on. Yeah,
yeah, that's so true. Having that plan, having that step-by-step structure gives you that ability to relax into your business. But if you go back and tell yourself, relax into it when you don't have the plan, it would have been challenging. So I can
yeah.
understand that for sure. And I'd love to know what advice you have to somebody who's listening to this and knows that they need more clarity and focus and structure and strategy and accountability in moving their business forward, but they feel really anxious about making the investment in themselves and their business. What advice would you give to them?
I would just say that you're actually wasting time and money, really, and
Mm,
unnecessary effort. Like if you can afford it, you can afford to like invest in yourself, just do it from the get-go and don't wait.
mm.
um yeah,
Yeah, that's really good advice. And, I can just say, because I talk to obviously so many jewelry business owners, and often they feel more ready to take the plunge 1 to 2 years into business. And the reason is some people have to go through that struggle phase. And it's
Yeah,
okay to go through that. But some people never make it past the struggle phase and they burn out or they run out of resources before they're able to actually get that support. So, I totally agree. And I've done that as well. Same thing here with me. I'm just like, nope, I'm going to the people who know what they're doing. I'm getting support. I'm getting an action plan. And I'm just diving right in because time is one of those resources you do not get back. And I'm not here to waste time. And you're obviously also have a very similar mindset. So I really, really love that. And, I'd love to know what piece of advice you would give to somebody who's listening to this and is feeling really inspired that you just took the plunge and started a business. Because you may not know this, but I speak to people who are in their 50s or who are in their 60s who have had this amazing idea for a jewelry business for like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and they're perfecting it in their mind, but they actually aren't taking any action. And
yeah,
a lot of people think to themselves, oh, I'm going to start a business one day, I'm going to do this. And it's like they really struggle to actually go take action. And here you are just taking action, just starting your business with your friend. And I'd love to know what your advice would be to somebody who's listening and is like feeling inspired and would love to have their own business, but it's all in their mind and they're struggling
yeah,
to take action.
yeah. Just don't overthink it. Just do
Mm,
it because not doing it isn't gonna get you anywhere, and just having it in your head isn't really gonna make any change. So yeah, just do it. And if you think that you need to perfect your plan, you can always refine it
mm.
along the way. Yeah. So like starting is better than something is better than nothing.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I always say a wrong decision on Monday is better than a right decision on Friday. And that's kind of going with the principle of like, just take action, pivot as necessary, take messy action. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be 50, 60% perfect, and just take that messy action and then refine as you go. And I think what I see with a lot of business owners is it's just like taking the plunge of putting yourself out there, taking those steps, not looking for them to be perfect in any way. It's the same as when it comes to showing up on Instagram. And I know we've chatted about this,
Yeah.
and I'd love for you just to share actually your experience of like getting comfortable doing these voiceovers on Instagram and like starting to share more content that's less focused on the product, more focused on you and building that brand and building that feeling behind your product. Can you share how that was making you feel before you joined and how you feel now?
So before I joined, I was feeling I was a bit worried about like what people would think and whatever. But then when I started doing it, it felt really nice to embrace my authentic self. And I found that um are getting people are getting they are getting more like relatable. Sorry, yeah, they're feeling related more because of like all
Mm,
the little things that doesn't have to do with business that I share. And it
mm,
feels actually really good. And
amazing.
sometimes, yeah, we would have like chit chats about all these, little things that don't have to do with business. And this actually drives more sales. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. I'm so glad that you shared that because, yeah, it drives more sales, but it also makes you as a business owner feel more connected to your community. And just, and that's just so powerful as entrepreneurs because we are on our own. We are doing a lot of work on our own. So having a support system, having a community that you're part of, and then also building your customer base that feels like a community of friends who get to know you and like you and trust you through the content that you're sharing is really, really powerful. So I love that. And thank you so much for sharing, Mona. And I would love to know if there is one book that's really impacted your entrepreneurial journey that you would recommend to all of our listeners.
Okay, so I do read a lot of books and like I'm literally surrounded with books right now.
I love
But
that.
but like I've never read any book that is related to entrepreneurship yet. I've
Mhm.
collected so many that are that I knew about from your podcast. Yeah, but like I haven't gone around reading any of them yet.
Mm. How about any mindset books? Because I know mindset and entrepreneurship is very
Uh,
strongly connected.
yeah. Well, I remember this very little book, but like I don't remember the title. It's a very, very short book that I read a long time ago, like years ago, but like I don't really I don't really remember the title of it. It's like in the back of my bookshelf right now.
That's totally
Um,
okay. You know what? I will get the name from you after we've recorded this and I'll add it to the show notes. So anyone who's
yeah.
interested can go take a look at Mona's book recommendation and I'm going to add it to my book list as well. But Mona,
Mm.
you've given us so much today. Thank you for coming here, being vulnerable, sharing your story, sharing the lessons you've learned in your first few months of business. And I'm really looking forward to bringing you back on in a couple of months to, share your updates, share the growth, share the transformation with our community. So I know that there's going to be people who are feeling really inspired and excited for you after listening to your story, and they're going to want to connect with you and follow along on your entrepreneurial journey. So where can our listeners find you and how can they support you?
You can find me on Instagram. My handle is mxnots. You can also find me, I think.
Website.
Yeah, my website is mxnots.com. I also have a TikTok and Pinterest. They're all mxnots.
Perfect. And we'll link all of those in the show notes as well. So you guys can go ahead and connect with Mona and like follow along on your journey. But thank you again, Mona. This has been such a fun chat.